How's it going, everyone? I'm Ozzy from the Nerdy Basement. Welcome back to another interview on our YouTube channel. And today we have Kim Dwinell, author of the graphic novel series, The Surfside Girls. Kim, welcome back to the Nerdy Basement again for a year later, almost to the date, which is, ironic. Comes back full circle. We're going to be here talking about The Surfside Girls yet again. We spoke about it last year, like I said, almost a year ago. But before we get into all that, how are you? How's everything been? How's what you've been up to? What's new? It's been a year. How's everything?
Wow, it's all good. I'll say that much. My life accelerated and got a little busier than I'm used to.
Right.
With this TV show thing coming out. So that has added a whole new dimension to my life that I didn't really know was coming, which
Yeah.
so I'm just surfing that wave right now. I'll be honest, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure you're excited about the show. I know I was excited when I saw the announcement, but I was like, wait, her and I talked about this a year ago. Maybe there was plans. I know you were trying to go the animated route, but we're doing the live action series. Tell me more about that. How you were excited? How did that come about? What was the inner workings behind the scenes to make it, a live action series as opposed to animated?
Well, and you know that I don't know the first thing about live action. Not the
Right.
first thing, right? So like learning curve for Kim was pretty steep. But they were really good keeping me like in the loop for like letting me know what was going on. And as I'm watching them cast these two darling girls, I thought like, "Oh my gosh." Okay, so, and then I got to go to set. Do you know what it's like to draw girls and then meet them?
No,
Like
I wouldn't know what that's like, but I'm pretty
man,
sure it's pretty nerve-wracking, I'm sure.
it was just bizarre. I mean, I guess maybe it's like you watch Cinderella on the Disney movie, and then you go to Disneyland and you're four, and you're like, oh, there she is. She's a real
Right,
person.
right.
Kind of that same thing for me. So that was super cool. They did a beautiful job casting these darling girls, and now they live and breathe.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, this is this series essentially gonna combine the entire Surfside Girls series? Are we looking at just the first volume, the first graphic novel, maybe the second? How is that all coming into play all
Okay,
together?
so here's what I'm saying to people. When you go see a Batman movie, you don't see the same story every time, right? Like it's
Right.
Gotham, it's Batman. You know who the bad guys are. You know what the city looks like. But it just sort of, it's got there's a new twist on what the action is. And so sort of the same. They've taken location, they've taken the people. It's all the same thing. The mystery kind of like adds in little bits from both, I think, from both books, sorta in a way,
Okay.
and kind of does its own mystery, but it's certainly touching on the burger dude, and all the places we know and love in Surfside.
Nice. That's awesome. So I know you were mentioning being, this is a learning curve for you. You were picturing the girls that you have drawn for however many years at this point. Obviously, we celebrated that a lot more last year with the signs of surfing and seeing all that come into fruition. In terms of the creative process, other than the learning curve, how involved were you maybe during the casting, maybe some of the ideas, the writing, and adapting that from the graphic novel instead of animated, but coming to the live action series.
Well, I got to go up to the writers' room and met the writers, and they're all good. I mean, they did a good job, and then they would send me scripts
Mhm.
for my not necessarily approval, but for notes. And to be honest, the team that came on board this project sort of got what I was trying to say, like that it's girl power. It's like strong, brave, smart girls running around having adventures, solving mysteries, and that's all. That's what I wanted. They hit spot on. They got it.
Right,
So I would give notes if like the surfing lingo didn't make any sense. Like no, no, no,
hmm
no, that's not authentic. Surfers don't say that. Like you
right,
cannot. That is my line in the sand, man. And then, so yeah, no, not really anything that I had to do, but I would read the script and give my thoughts on, anything I had thoughts on, and they could take them
right.
or leave them, which I guess they were doing with a lot of people. A lot of people were given notes and they sort of filtered through.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to ask mostly because there's been a huge and so a transition from having not including the creators of the stories that the studios are adapting to now seeing an influx of the creators of the source material being involved, giving advice, what creative freedoms they can take, what they should really stick to in terms of the source material, which will really help propel the series or the story that they're essentially adapting. So I'm glad to see that you were in their full force, still giving notes, whether they took it, whether they decided to dismiss it. Seeing your involvement and hearing that you've been involved is very alleviating, at least to say the least, at least to me. To be
They were,
completely
I'll
honest,
be honest, they were great to me. Like for instance,
that's
there was
good.
one scene where the girls were on the beach. It's another character and a girl on the
Hmm.
beach, and they're throwing sand, and I'm all, we don't throw sand on the beach. I was a lifeguard.
Right.
No throw. Like, how many times have I said, "Hey, no throwing sand"? Like, we cannot, in good conscience, have these girls throw. And they didn't. They don't throw sand now. They throw seaweed.
That's up. At least they get to throw seaweed. I know.
See?
I,
So
I went back and listened and watched to our interview from last year, and I almost forgot how super informative and how much of a deep dive of a conversation we had in terms of how people should conduct themselves on the beach, preserving preserving the ocean, the lifeguard duties, surfing, and all that. So we're essentially tackling aspects from both books, which you got the mysteries going on and all that. The third issue, which was the science of surfing, is there anything that is going to be implemented from that third book into the overall series in terms of being more of a field guide of what the girls, what other beachgoers can and cannot do in the ocean, maybe teaching other people how to surf and things like that?
not so much. I mean, this season that will be out on television is one arc, one mystery arc. So that's sort of what they did. Their half hour shows.
Episodes.
There's 10 of them, and it's one arc for mystery. So not really diving into any of the science or anything beyond just showing the girls surfing
Okay.
and like being in the environment of Southern California. And I'm really really happy we got to keep it here. I know it's expensive to shoot here, and I'm really glad they made
Right.
that decision because there's nothing like our Southern California colors. Like you could go somewhere else and you could tell it wouldn't be Southern California. There's a
Right.
distinctive palette here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's good to hear. They kept that authentic look and feel of Southern California, which you something you've been illustrating in your graphic novels for the entirety of the series, obviously. But and have you seen any of the episodes yet? Have you seen all 10 I haven't seen anything. I've just seen the trailer, and I'm just like, okay, I want to see a little more. Should I go and dive in a little deeper into the books? Because I know I read The Science of Surfing, but that's as far as I really got in terms of that series, which obviously we talked about and we geeked out about, which was super fun. Obviously, the annoying brother. Are we gonna get the annoying brother? Because I need the annoying brother in the show.
Oh, we
Please
get
tell
the
me.
annoying brother. I think the annoying brother is going to steal the show. I'll be honest. He's
Listen, he was
fantastic.
a standout in the novels. I'll give you that. I know I mentioned that before. He was a standout in the novels, so I'm expecting nothing less when I watch the show. So I'm excited about that. So are there any other ideas that maybe, obviously when it comes to adaptations, there's some ideas that you can include that you maybe wanted to include in the source material, but decided like, it's not going to work. Or were there any ideas from the source material you wanted to include, or are there any new ideas that you included or help include alongside the writers of the show to bring the show to life?
I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I will say that, no, I don't even want to say that. Um,
You can give us a little bit, just a little bit, a
okay,
little sport, a little
okay,
sport, a
so
little bit.
so let's just say my pirate Robert is now named
Okay.
Remy, and
Okay.
he's Australian, and he is so stinking cute. His little accent, and he's so stinking cute. But I'll tell you, they've made the decision at this point to focus more on the girls' friendship than on the little romance aspect that I put into the books. They have
Hmm.
this like fledgling 12, 14-year-old romance, this like initial flirtation between Sam and Robert in that first book. And you know what? I used to watch this show called The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, where the human was the woman and the old sea captain was a ghost pirate.
Right.
Or a ghost captain. He was a ghost sea captain. And like, where does that relationship go? Like, it's cute flirtation doesn't go anywhere. He's a ghost, right? So it kind
Right.
of patterned it on that. But they've backed off the romance and they
Okay.
want to focus on the girls' friendship and the mystery solving, which I was like, sure, because in my timeline, in the beginning of the first book, Jade gets all into giggling at boys, and Sam's just not there yet, and that causes a real rift in their friendship.
Right.
And it's not until Sam meets Ghost Pirate Boy Robert where she's like, I get you now. I'm like,
Right.
I get you. I see what this is about. So they've just ignored that. Now, whether they'll, if we ever get a season two, who knows if we get a season two, maybe that plays in a little, maybe
Yeah.
it doesn't. But that is one thing that I had in my novels that they chose not to dive into.
Okay. So was that necessarily a decision because it's more is a story that's more geared towards children, or is that something, as you mentioned, that you guys may want to save for, which is leading into my next question about future seasons? Is that something that you guys want to kind of, maybe it's not rushing to all that right away. It might be overbearing, overwhelming, at least to the stars or to the viewers per se. Let's just focus on these girls and kind of develop them as characters.
I think that's exactly what they were thinking, that we really just want to meet Sam and Jade. We want to figure out who they are. They've leaned in to a little bit of what I gave them, but they pushed it more, which I love, in that Sam is really about artistic, intuitive, like leap before you look. And then
Okay.
Jade is science and the scientific method and logic, and I've got to see it to believe it. And
Right.
it plays beautifully to have that friendship with those personalities, like have to approach a mystery from both sides. And really, it takes both of them to solve a mystery,
Hmm.
especially when there's a little supernatural in the show,
Right.
right? And so they really leaned in and pushed those girls apart that way, which I like too.
I mean, it'll be interesting. I think that's a neat approach to these characters to really ground them, not just mentally but emotionally as well. Kind of find their footing. I mean, they are young children. They middle aged teenagers, and they want to explore. They want to find their footing and find themselves in the process. So I think that's a great approach to the story. You also answered that question already, but I gotta ask. Most of these creators do have cameos in their shows that they're getting adapted. Is there a possibility that we may see you in one of these episodes or the entire series overall? You gotta tell me a little something.
I tell you what, I wished so badly because they wrote me into the last episode.
Okay.
And and then, I mean, they shot this during a serious COVID kind of lockdown. They
Right.
shot this and so it was going fine. And then they up and decided like mid-season, they're like, we are limiting, anyone coming to the set who doesn't need to be here
Right.
because God forbid anyone who was a main star on the show got COVID. They had a
Hmm.
very short shooting window, and they couldn't afford that. So unfortunately, I had to not come back up to set until like the last day. They figured like at this point it doesn't matter. But I
Yeah.
was supposed to be doing caricatures on a boardwalk, and I was so excited about
That would
that.
have been nice. That what also probably would have been nice too, to have you as an actual lifeguard on the beach. It would have been a nice little nod to your early days of being a lifeguard. So I think that would have been a nice little nod, at least to me. But
Well,
that
maybe
cameo
they'll
would have
hear
been
this.
nice.
Maybe they'll hear this. Maybe if we get a season two, maybe I'll get a
Hopefully,
job up
listen,
there.
we just gotta send this up to Apple's way, and I'm just
That's right.
listen. Let's send it up their way, and maybe we can make it happen. And hopefully, I can also make a cameo there too. I can be someone. Maybe I'm the one who throws sand on the beach, and then you're the lifeguard yelling at me.
No,
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no.
You don't throw sand on the beach, okay? Maybe I
You
can throw
look
some
like you could be
seaweed.
a good beach goer.
Yeah, I can definitely
I'm
pull it
picturing
off.
I'm picturing a bucket hat.
I
I
can
can see
definitely
the
put
bucket
I
hat.
can definitely pull out the bucket hat. I have selfies and stuff. I can definitely pull out the bucket hat. But backtracking a little bit, obviously or at least shifting focus to Surfside Girls. It's been almost a year since that graphic novel has been released. Tell me more about the success of that book. Was the feedback been like? A year is a long time, so we're here. How's that been for you?
Yeah, you know what I love? Excuse me. I love like I go down and surf at Doheny State Beach, and there's a gal that owns a store called Girl in the Curl, and they're specifically like they teach girl surfers to surf like they paddle out in their little pink
Hmm.
wetsuits. And then they also have a little shop where they sell stuff. And I see her and she's like, "Man, we sell out of your books like hotcakes." And that makes
That,
me so
that's
happy
that's
because that
great.
like that right there is my shop. That's like the people
Yeah.
that I want to talk to. And it is really darling to see like these fleets of 8, 10, 12-year-old girls paddling out in their little pink rash guards, being
Right.
taught to surf. Um, I'll be honest, like don't pay a ton of attention to the numbers, but the feedback I've gotten is great. Toy stores, surf shops. I've gotten a lot of people telling me that it's selling really well. That
Oh,
makes me
that's
happy.
awesome. So, I mean,
Yeah.
other than comic books, comic book stores, obviously IDW has been helping with the publishing of this, and local bookstores, and obviously the surf shops around the area. Where else can everyone who's interested in either the Surfside Girls, the Science of Surfing, or the other two graphic novels, where can they find them all?
They are at Barnes and Noble, so you can go
Okay,
find. They're usually I find at least one, if not all, of my books at my local Barnes and Nobles. Like I hunt around if I'm on vacation, I'll go look.
okay,
Usually I find at least one. Um, I know, like obviously any indie bookstore, I always want to support your
hmm,
little local indie
of course,
bookstore.
got to support
But
the
I
small business.
right, but I also know it's like on Target.com as well. So
Okay, awesome. That's good. Nice to know that is in Target. So there you go, everybody. Everybody who's watching or listening right now, now you know where to pick up Surfside Girls. All three graphic novels, and get ready for the show that drops this week on Apple TV Plus.
woo!
But
I'm
Kim,
beside
from
myself.
I'm pretty. I can feel the excitement. I'm excited. That's one of the main reasons I wanted when IDW reached out for the interview. I'm just like, wait, Surfside Girls. Yes, I know they're doing the show. I wanted to reach out to Apple. I wanted to speak to Kim again because I know we mentioned this literally a year ago. She wanted to go the animated route. Now we're going the live action route. I gotta talk to her about this show, and I couldn't. I'm just glad we were able to make it happen because I know our schedules were a little conflicting, and I didn't really want to go the email Q&A route.
No,
I
no,
wanted
this
to
is
come here.
fantastic.
No, this is great.
Sure.
This is great. I'm super excited. I can tell we're both excited. But yeah, I got one final question for you. What's next for you? What's next for the Surfside Girls? What other than the show, what else can we look forward to down the pipeline?
Well, sitting at my desk, which you can't see, which is right there, I am at page 211 of the fourth book, the third mystery, which is
Okay.
now called The Clue in the Reef. I try to stay with my Nancy Drew titles.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
You're a huge Nancy Drew fan. I remember
love
that.
the Nancy Drews, love the mystery. Nancy was just ahead of her time. She got into some real danger, and
Right.
she was a
She did.
strong girl. She was pretty cool in her little convertible. But anyway, I'm on page 211 out of 253 pages. And when
Okay.
I'm done with sketches, they get sent off to Chris Staros for approval, and then I'm in production until October of next year is how long it's going to take me to paint this book. I
Okay.
have scheduled out two paintings today, so it's going to take me a while. Um, but that's what I've got going on there. And if you want a little information,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
I,
sure.
I
I'll
had I
gladly
had
take it.
I had a lot of fun with this one because it opens with the girls are in prairie dresses.
Okay.
Because it's Founders Day, like Surfside days in their little town,
Okay.
and they have to go work the Burger Dude Ranch. Burger Dude, it's called the Burger Dude, but now it's the Burger Dude Ranch on Main
Okay.
Street where they got a booth and it's hot. And Sam is not excited to be in a prairie dress and bonnet, but everyone's kind of in these Pioneer Days sorts of outfits, and so she can't wait to get out of this costume after serving burgers all day. And they grab their boards and they go surfing and they paddle out, and out on the outside reef, there's something out there that shouldn't be there. And that kicks off the mystery.
That kicks off the mystery.
That
Awesome.
kicks off the
And
mystery.
when can we expect the release? I know you're in production until October 2023. Maybe a publishing, maybe early 2024,
Early
mid 2020.
2024. Yep.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Now you guys know you guys can look forward to the next installment of the Surfside Girls early 2024. You heard it here on the Nerdy Basement. But that's pretty much all I got for you, Kim. I am stoked. I'm super excited that we were able to do this again. I'm pretty sure we'll be speaking again once the new the new graphic novel releases. It'll be some time, but I will definitely be talking again. I'll make sure I reach out to IDW and request you personally so we can talk
Always
about
delightful to
that.
talk to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
always
was fun. This was That's why I wanted to do it again. Like I mentioned, I know the first interview we were on the phone for I think a good hour almost, if I'm not mistaken. We were on the phone for a good hour. That's how fun and informative that conversation was. So I know I was like, no, we got to do it again this time via Zoom, and we got to get that energy again, and we got to get that on footage this time so people can see how how pleasurable you are, how enjoyable it is speaking to you when it comes to your novels. So once again, I thank you for taking the time to speaking to the Nerdy Basement as a whole, obviously, but me, the Nerdy Basement. But and I wish you nothing but more success for the Surfside Girls series. I hope everyone gets to watch the show and support the show when it
Please
drops.
watch.
Yeah,
Yes.
please watch it. It's gonna be fun, and obviously it's aimed for the younger audiences, but doors are always welcome to everybody. So please check out Surfside Girls, the live action series, exclusively on Apple TV Plus this Friday, August 19th.
Woo!
And that's gonna be for us. Kim, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking your time. I
Thank
will
you.
send links your way so you can see all the post footage stuff, and we'll leave links in the description and all that to all her
Fantastic.
books, so you guys can purchase it. Don't gotta be searching online. We'll make it real nice and easy for you here at the Nerdy Basement, so you can find everything on Kim Dwinell. So Kim, it was nice speaking to you again. I'll
Likewise.
see you next time. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you, you too. Thanks so
Thank
much for
you.
this.
Bye bye. You're
Bye.
welcome.